Hello, my crazy people. Welcome back to another episode of Mac Music Review. Before we hop into the review, which today we're not going to do. Today is a special video. We're going to be going over some great albums that I've already reviewed, just giving you the highlights, giving you the best of the best, so you can, you don't have to watch the videos. You can just, just listen to this great music, and I'll just try to sum up why I think it's pretty great. Just say something about the album, and yeah. I'll just hop right into it. The first album on this list, and by the way, this is taken from the D's. This is Awesome Albums D's, meaning albums, that start with the letter D. I mean artists that start with the letter D. And of course, Waiting for the Sun by The Doors. For some reason, this is not the most popular Doors album. Critics don't love this album the most. Most people don't care for this the most. I just found this to be the most interesting and engaging and enjoyable and entertaining Doors album. It really is all those things. It's engaging and entertaining. It's got a lot of musical diversity, some really interesting stuff, some really spooky stuff. It really just shows what the Doors do best on multiple different levels, and it's a pretty short album. So you should check it out. It's worth your time. Next album, this is Codes and Keys by Death Cab for Cutie. This is also kind of a weird pick for most people. This has seen, and among Death Cab for Cutie fans, at least according to Reddit, Codes and Keys is like the worst Death Cab for Cutie album because lyrically, people say they kind of don't connect with it on a lyrical standpoint because apparently it's not as emotional, it's not as connected, the songwriting isn't as, sad and good as it is on the other albums. I honestly don't have a problem with that because musically this record is fantastic. These songs are huge, they're epic, they're really well produced, and they really just sound awesome. This is just an awesome sounding record. You should totally check it out. It's really cool. Next album on this list, of course, Narrow Stairs by Death Cab for Cutie. This is a fan favorite Death Cab for Cutie album, and it's not at all hard to see why. The songwriting, these songs are super duper sad, really sad, and very well written, and well performed, and it's just a great album. There's not much else to say. This pick is also a little bit controversial because people don't really love this album. Kintsugi, I personally thought it was really impressive. Had some really bold stuff, both in terms of lyrics and vocals and the music. Some really great songs. Ghosts of Beverly Drive is awesome. Binary Sea is awesome. So many of these songs work so well. Some don't work super duper well, but there's very few flat out fails on this album. Most of them are really good. Needle Drop didn't care for this album. Art TV thought it was really good. I think this album is really good. I recommend it. I think you should check this album out. Next up, this is the soundtrack to the movie Dear Evan, not to the movie, to the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical Dear Evan Hansen. I gave it a perfect score. I think it's phenomenal in every single respect. I think it's like perfect. This is the last real DC Talk album that's not like a compilation or I don't know, something else weird. This is their last album. Their second grunge / alternative rock album. And I think it's pretty great. I think musically it's really good. I think vocally it's better than most albums because you have the diversity of Kevin Max and Michael Tate, and I think they do a good job complementing each other. I think the music is well produced, and I think this whole record sounds really good. I think the album cover is really cool. But that's all I gotta say. Jesus Freak. This is a bold album. This is a legendary Christian album, legendary non-Christian contemporary music album, and it's that way for a reason. The songwriting is insanely bold and mature and deep, and the music is pretty good. Musically, I think lyrically, I think the lyrics on this thing are better than the music, but musically, it's also really good. This is a really, 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 really good album. Totally worth checking out. Totally worth buying and owning on vinyl or whatever. It's really cool. I put the soundtrack to the movie Dunkirk on this list because it's really good. It's intense, it's thrilling, it's epic. It's mostly just really, really thrilling and intense. The one problem with this thing is that basically all the songs are the same. It's the same song done over and over again, but that one format they do is very effective. It works very well, especially in the context of the movie. And just listening to it on its own, it's a very, very intense listening experience. It's you know, it does one thing, and it does that one thing very, very well. Yep, next up is Discovery by Daft Punk. It's awesome. This is an excellent EDM album. It's the latest addition to my vinyl collection, my growing vinyl collection. This is the second vinyl I own. You can just tell I'm very, very happy about this vinyl. It's just cool. It was pretty cheap too for a 2-disc vinyl. It was pretty cheap. It's a really, really good electronic EDM album. Released a long time ago, has aged phenomenally. Sounds better than most electronic music out today. It is a totally awesome album. Next Daft Punk album on this list is actually not the last Daft Punk album on this list. Random Access Memories. I think this is the best Daft Punk album. It's really, 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 really good. It won the Grammy for Album of the Year. I think it was either in 2015. Yeah, I think it was in 2015 or 2014. Don't remember when the album was released. But it's very, very impressive. It's a perfect blend of electronic music and orchestral arrangements and and jazz and all kinds of stuff. They do like groundbreaking things on this album, and they do it very, very, very well. This is the Tron soundtrack. I think the Tron soundtrack is very, very cool. It's not as cool as Discovery or Random Access Memories, but it's still a great album because in this album they also do this blend of orchestral music and like Hans Zimmer scale grand like score soundtrack stuff with electronic music, and they blend it super duper well. The best example of this is the song "The Game Has Changed." Totally worth checking out. Just listen to that song. If you like that song, check out the album. It's really, really cool. Good Religion by Dream Junkies. This has been a favorite hip-hop/rap album of mine for a long time, and it's really just grown on me more and more and more with each listen, and that's still the case. Actually, I probably peaked at my, I don't know if it will get better from here on out, but I listen to this album, I listen to it again and again and again and again and again, and it just gets better. The layers peel back, the performances are just, not the musical layers, but like literally just the lyrics and the people on this record, Bayleaf, Ruslan, John Givens, all do a fantastic job. They complement each other, they bring out the best qualities in each other. It's a great rap album. Last album on this list is High Above by Derek Minor. This is an album I totally changed my mind about. When I reviewed High Above and Your Soul Must Fly, the two first entries in Derek Minor's Up and Away series, I thought Your Soul Must Fly was great, and I thought that High Above was okay. And now, I think the other way around. I think Your Soul Must Fly is pretty good, and I think High Above is great. In terms of lyrical content, High Above is a superior record. Musically and vocally, it's also super good. They got some really good guest artists on here. And the song Visions from the Top is just fantastic. It's the last song on this album. Seriously, a truly fantastic song. You need to listen to that song. It is really, really, really good. That was a lot of albums. I didn't do any honorable mentions in this video because, there's so many great albums to talk about for the Ds. I reviewed a bunch of albums in the D category, and You know, a lot of great music. Let's see, if I had to pick a favorite album out of all of these albums, like the best out of all of these, it would be the Dear Evan Hansen soundtrack. That's the best album. If I could pick one, and if I had to pick the worst, I would say Supernatural by DC Talk, because I don't really listen to like that kind of music, that 90s grunge a whole lot. And so I don't know if I correctly gave that score out. I don't know if that's actually a great album. I thought it was great, but I could be wrong. That's the one thing I'm not 100% made my mind up about. But besides that, you know, check out these albums. Even that album's even worth checking out. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.